Long before Ryan's World became a global children's empire, before toy aisles filled with Ryan's face and YouTube thumbnails reached billions of views, Loann Kaji lived a life that looked nothing like the one she has today. No cameras, no brand deals, no licensing contracts, just an ordinary young woman, mostly invisible to the public, until the past she never talked about collided with the fame she couldn't escape. To understand Ryan's World, you have to understand Loann Kaji before the fame reshaped everything. Before the bright thumbnails, before the toy aisles stacked with Ryan's face, before YouTube turned a toddler into a global brand, Loann Kaji lived a life that was ordinary, private, and largely invisible. No empire, no influence, no cameras. Understanding who Loann Kaji really was before the fame isn't about digging up dirt for shock value. It's about understanding how someone goes from anonymity to controlling one of the most powerful children's media brands in history, and what gets lost, hidden, or quietly erased along the way. Because Ryan's World didn't happen by accident, and neither did the silence around its creator. Before she was known as Loann Kaji, she was Loann Nguyen, a college student living in Texas in the early 2000s. She wasn't connected to entertainment. She wasn't wealthy. She wasn't planning a media career. By all accounts, she was trying to get through school and build a stable future. Then in 2003, she made a mistake. Loann Nguyen walked into a JCPenney in Houston, selected clothing, attempted to leave without paying, and was stopped by store security. Police were called. She was arrested and charged with shoplifting. Court records confirmed the incident. It wasn't sensational. It wasn't violent. It wasn't rare. Thousands of similar arrests happen every year. But it mattered, not because of the crime itself, but because of what happened afterward. Loann faced the legal consequences. The case was resolved. She didn't become a repeat offender. She didn't spiral. She moved on. By any legal or moral standard, she earned the right to leave it behind. And she did. Years later, she changed her last name to Kaji, using her maiden name. She married Ryan Kaji, an engineer. She built a quiet, respectable life. She became a teacher, working with children in a traditional classroom setting. This part of her life is rarely discussed, but it's critical. Loann didn't come from entertainment. She came from education. She understood children. She understood learning environments. She understood authority, structure, and responsibility. Those skills would later be repurposed in a very different context. Ryan was born in 2011. For the first few years of his life, there was nothing remarkable about their family. No cameras, no viral ambitions, no influencer plans, just parents raising a child. Then YouTube entered the picture. In 2015, according to Loann's later explanations, Ryan watched toy review videos online and asked why he couldn't be in them too. The idea seemed harmless. Film him opening toys at home, upload it, see what happens. At first, it was harmless. The early videos were simple, no heavy editing, no scripts, no corporate polish, just a young child reacting naturally to toys. Parents trusted it because it didn't feel staged. It felt real. That authenticity was the hook. The algorithm picked it up. Views skyrocketed. Subscribers poured in. What looked like a fun family activity began generating real money, then serious money. That's when Loann Kaji stopped being just a mom. She became a manager. She quit teaching. Ryan quit engineering. The family's financial future became directly tied to Ryan's on-camera presence. Loann took control of production, scheduling, brand relationships, and messaging. And notably, she stayed off camera. Ryan was the face. Loann was the architect. This distinction matters. While Ryan built parasocial trust with millions of kids, Loann controlled the narrative behind the scenes. Interviews were rare. Personal history was never discussed. The brand focused entirely on Ryan's joy, Ryan's success, and Ryan's dream job. Her own story vanished. As Ryan's fame exploded, so did the money. By 2018, Forbes named him YouTube's highest-paid creator, earning over $22 million in a single year. Licensing deals followed. Merchandise flooded big box stores. The channel evolved from a hobby into a corporate operation. And with that success came scrutiny. Journalists began asking how a child's channel had become so profitable so quickly. Watchdog groups examined advertising practices. Critics raised ethical concerns about child labor, consent, and exploitation. That's when Loann's past resurfaced. Not because she was famous, but because people finally looked closely. They noticed the name change. They noticed the lack of background information. They noticed that Loann Nguyen had effectively disappeared from the public record, replaced by Loann Kaji with no visible history. Again, none of this is illegal, but silence becomes suspicious when money and children are involved. The turning point came in 2019, when Truth in Advertising filed a formal complaint with the Federal Trade Commission. After reviewing Ryan's content, they concluded that more than 90% of the videos contained paid product placements that were not clearly disclosed. For adults, that's misleading advertising. For children, it's manipulation. The FTC agreed, resulting in a $4.2 million settlement, one of the largest ever involving children's digital content. This moment reframed everything. Suddenly, Loann wasn't just a mom who helped her kids succeed. She was the adult responsible for allowing or enabling systematic deception aimed at children. And once again, her response wasn't confrontation, it was erasure. Ryan Toy's review became Ryan's World. Toys disappeared from the name. The content pivoted to education. Animation replaced raw footage. The controversy faded. This mirrored how Loann had handled her own past. She didn't deny the shoplifting arrest. She didn't explain it. She simply removed it from the story. This pattern, control through omission, defines who Loann Kaji really was before and after fame. Supporters argue this is unfair. They point out that she paid for her mistake, built something extraordinary, and provided financial security for her family. They argue she deserves privacy and redemption, and legally they're right. But that realization casts her earlier choices in a different light. If Ryan could be replaced, how much agency did he ever truly have? If the brand could pivot so easily, how genuine was the narrative of, he can quit anytime? This doesn't make Loann a villain. It makes her something more unsettling, competent. She learned early that mistakes can be survived if you control the narrative. Those consequences can be minimized if you reframe the story. That silence can be more powerful than explanation. Before the fame, Loann Nguyen was a young woman who made a mistake and moved on. Before Ryan's World, she was a teacher. Before the empire, she was invisible. But when the cameras turned on, she became a curator of reality, deciding what the public could see, what it could question, and what it would never be told. That's who Loann Kaji really was. Not a criminal mastermind, not a monster, not a victim, but someone who understood, perhaps better than anyone else in this story, that in the age of digital fame, the past only matters if you let people see it, and she made very sure they didn't.